Evening all. Call me Dave, back for a Christmassy one. Well, you must all be ready for Christmas. You know what I mean? Well, Christmas used to be a religious festival. Now it's become a fucking eating competition, isn't it? I was walking through Asda in the American football gear just to get through the fucking crowd, you know. Yeah, well, Tampax, you know, the company, they just replaced the string on the tampons with tinsel. But they said it's only for the fucking Christmas period. You know what I mean? Fuck it, I love Christmas. That's the only time of year I can shout, ho, 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 at my ex-missus and not get fucking arrested. You know what I mean? My mate said Christmas comes but once a year. I said, yeah, like most fucking married people. Do you know what I mean? Embarrassing one. Father Christmas went into the doctor's. He said, I've got an embarrassing problem, Doc. He said, I come down the chimney a bit quick, landed on a plate, I've got a mince pie stuck right up the old council grill, up the arse, you know. Doctor said, I've got some good news for you, Santa. I've got some cream for that. Do you know what I mean? Said to the missus, what do you want for Christmas? She said, a Yankee candle. I said, them bloody Americans can't even have an English candle these days. It's much cheaper in Aldi, English candles. Cost of living crisis, you know. Fucking cost of living. Fucking much cheaper. Jingle bollocks, jingle bollocks. Yeah. I went in a pub for me work to do, as you do, and outside on the sign, Christmas dinner, all the trimmings. I was eating me dinner, fucking bits of tinsel, baubles, fucking glass stuck in me teeth. And the waiter come over, he said, you pay a bit extra for a bit of swede. I said, for this money, pal, I want fucking Eureka Johnson as a starter. Or fucking ABBA singing the Christmas medley. You know, dancing queen, we're old and wrinkled because we're 83. That would be fucking worth paying for, wouldn't it? Well, everyone eats a lot at Christmas. I reckon some sort of competition going on, you know what I mean? Fucking two fucking chopping loads for one day. Yeah, but Mrs. ain't a great cook, you know. Last Christmas someone bought her a fucking cookery book. You know, a book full of recipes for these digital people. And that's like buying fucking Stevie Wonder or a fucking kaleidoscope or a virtual reality headset. He can fucking use it. You know what I mean? Well, she had a go. Anyway, she was fucking knackered after the first page. Take a clean pan. Fucking set of saucepans might have been a better fucking present, you know what I mean? But when I was young, snow outside, lovely Christmases. That's not about that anymore. I thought that was about, you know, the birth of Jesus. Not eating loads of turkey. Fuck me. When I was young, I prayed for a bike. My dad said, God doesn't work like that, son. I said, I know, Dad, I fucking stole one. I'm praying for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Quick one. I was speaking to my mum and I said, do you think we're getting snow this Christmas, Mum? A little blow. She said, no, son, apparently we're going to get heavy rain. I said, heavy rain? You don't want to be trying to lift that up, Mum, before you put your fucking back out. Do you know what I mean? Heavy rain. I used to be a heavy drinker. I've lost a bit of weight now. You know. Fucking heavy drinker. I told the missus I wanted a nice, quiet Christmas this year, so she hid me fucking hearing aid. Bastard. I got my own back, don't you worry. I said, I can't wait to spend Christmas Day with a beautiful woman. So I fucking invited one round. I'm sure we'll have enough food to go around. She won't mind. Get an extra chair out. I went to see the doctor the other day. That's that time of year, cold, you know. He gave me these new pills. I was reading it, side effects. It said insomnia. I was so fucking worried about getting out, I couldn't get to sleep. You know what I mean? But the ladies, they like a bit of fun, don't they? They've launched a new Christmas range of sex toys in Ann Summers now. They got this vibrator, big old thing, with a cross etched on it. You press the button and it plays, O come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye, your tunnel of love. Sounds good? They've also released a few Toy Story themed vibrators for the younger ladies, you know. Woody and Buzz. Zzz. Okay now. Batteries not included. Fuck, it cost a fortune. You want my petrol in it? That'd save a few quid. A diesel one, that'd vibrate even more, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Fellas, last year I bought this missus some technological knickers. They've got an anchor on the front, and they've got like chips and that in there. AI. You shout anchors away and they fucking fall down. I tell you. Brilliant. There's a new cough and cold bug going around, you know. That's called the beaver variant. I said, I know, every cunt's got it. You know what I mean? Every couple of weeks they come up with a new variant now. So what can we scare these fucking idiots with next? What was the last one? The flirt variant. Every time you chat some bird up, you start coughing. Laughable now, isn't it? Oh my God. Had a bit of fun to the conversation. I made a New Year's resolution this year. I said, I'm going to lose 10 pounds of ugly fat. Fair play. So on the 3rd of January, I'm getting circumcised. I fucking wish. Bloody hell. I was dating this woman I met in a pub a while back, but she wasn't a looker, you know. I went in the pub and everyone started fucking howling at us. I said, look lads, you know, she's not a looker, but she's great in bed. And I said, and so say all of us, and so say all of us. Ew. I've been round the block more times than I'll hurt you. And my mate has just been told his missus is having quadruplets. I said, blimey, she's going to be a bit sore after that, you know. Fucking hell, imagine that. 4. He said, well, the doctor told me this only happens 1 in a million times. I said, fucking hell, how did you ever have time to do anything? What about the housework and that? She must have been shagged out, to put it finely. Yeah, their friend Roger Ring came round a lot that fucking year. Jesus. Good old Roger Ring. It's quite a nice tipple. Aldi. Yeah. I love Aldi. Go in the shop. Everything's cheap, but it's just fucking thrown on the shelf, isn't it? It's like a jumble sale. I love it. Brilliant. Yeah. Got a mask slipping off. Must have lost a few pounds in Aldi. My mate and his missus got married right before Christmas. He said that's the only fucking chance she's got of a white wedding. Do you know what I mean? And they fucking hate each other. They can't agree on anything. When they got married, he said, I do. She said, no, you fucking don't. And later that night in bed, he said, I'm coming. She said, no, you fucking not. We're going to be doing it 2 minutes, you greedy twat. Yeah. You know, talking to the missus, she said, prove you love me. Get me name tattooed on your arm. I said, there's no need. I've got a birthmark on my arse. There's a fucking spitting image of you. Yeah. Anyway, when I first got with a girl, many moons ago, she said, you do know I swing both ways, don't you? I fucking ducked under the left hook and she smacked me right in the mouth with the right hand. So I kicked her in the bollocks. It's a strange world we live in right now, you know? Messed up. Kicked her in the bollocks. Yeah. Like a Thai lady boy that can't fucking cook. Yeah. Christ. My second girlfriend, my mate said, you want to be careful with that one. She's a screamer in bed. We started our little fondle and she went, get off me fanny. Screamer in bed. Yeah, fuck me. My mate was explaining to me the other day, a conversation with his son. He was saying, yeah, Michael Jackson years ago, brilliant singer, you know, danced around, amazing. And his son said, you know what? He dangled a baby over a balcony once. And his mum said, yeah, at least he didn't toss him off. And his dad said, actually, son, he fucking did. Dirty bastard. Fucking hell. What time's bedtime in Michael Jackson's house when the big hand touches the fucking little hand? Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Yeah, my mate's missus said she wanted this year to go out with a bang. So New Year's Eve, he's going to shoot the old cow, or shag her, or both. Sick twat. I was reading a newspaper. A couple of days ago, they caught these 2 blokes in Colchester town centre, running around with a steering wheel going, meow. Police arrested them for fucking human trafficking. I make these up for nothing, you know. Yeah, fucking hell. My dad used to work in a candle factory. He quit after 2 weeks. He said it was really getting on his wick. You know what I mean? Get on these fucking... This is a true story. My dad used to work in a factory making kettles, engineering stuff. My mum said, honestly, he was in his element. That's not a joke, it's a fucking true story. Well, some people like a break over Christmas, don't they? Like a holiday. My friend's missus always goes away on holiday. She said to him she prefers it because sex is always better on holiday. He said that's the worst fucking postcard he ever got. Do you know what I mean? My sex is always better on holiday, isn't it? Alcohol, sun, sea, sand. All helps. If it weren't for alcohol, none of us would fucking be here. I went on a skiing holiday with the missus once, right before Christmas. It started off okay, but it went downhill very fucking quickly after that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And over the Christmas period, us lads, we go to the pub a bit more, don't we? I got in late last night. She looked me up and down. She said, "That's not my lipstick on your collar." I said, "No, it ain't. You couldn't keep your fucking gob shut long enough to fucking kiss my collar, could you?" I was in the fucking doghouse after that. So, do you know what? That's turned cold, isn't it? I went out there, look at my nipples. I looked like fucking Madonna on tour. And it was really misty when I went out there. And I thought up this little joke. What's the difference between oral sex and driving in the fog? Well, during oral sex, you can see the fucking arsehole in front of you, can't you? You don't hit him right up the arse. Only if you kiss the wrong hole, The missus said to me, she said, "I want to spoil you tonight, Dave. I'm going to make you a nice meal and then we'll have a bit of fun." I went, "Lovely." She said, "Do you like fish fingers?" I said, "Bloody hell, love, you're going to have a wash first, didn't you?" I went, "Oh, you meant the dinner. Sorry, love." You know what I mean? Fucking fish fingers. You wouldn't guess this, but I'm from Wales, Well, from this comedy, you'd guess, But, I mean, you wouldn't guess by looking. Not in this fucking rubber face anyway. But my mate was still a virgin, 40-year-old virgin. And he asked me for some advice. He said, "Dave, I want to practice making love to a woman." I said, "Well, you just get a prostitute, Bung her 50 quid. He said, no, I don't want to do that. What about if I mess it up, And I said, "Well, okay." He said, "But there's a field of sheep up the road. Will you come with me?" I said, "Look, pal, just because I'm Welsh don't mean I fucking shag sheep, all right?" He said, "I'll give you 20 quid. I went, "Okay, I'll come and watch, I'll come, I'll help, And we went to this field with all these sheep in. And he's got this lovely sheep. And he's rogering it. And he stopped. He started pulling all the fucking wool out of the sheep. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, for 20 quid, I want it naked." That's a sheep, you know what I mean? Christ. Imagine how the sheep must have felt. Last Christmas, the missus said, "What have you got me for Christmas?" I said, "Guess." She said, "Nothing." I said, "Well, remember you wanted to see the world, didn't you?" She went, I said, "I got you a fucking atlas." You know what I mean? For you young people, before we had Google Earth, we had to look in a fucking book. You know what I mean? So, my friend said he wants to do something for charity. I said, "That's a good idea. It's a good idea, Pete, And I said, "Well, everything's already been done." And I said, "Sponsored walk." He said, "I hate walking." "Sponsored run." I'm a lazy bastard. I said, "What do you really like?" He said, "Well, I just sit at home and watch TV and, I said, "Well, you could do a sponsored wank then." I said, "You could try and break the world record and have the world's longest wank." He said, "Do you think I can pull it off?" I said, "If you do it for long enough, you fucking will, mate, I tell you." Christ, that'd be red raw. Do you think I could pull it off? Yeah. I was having a romantic walk with the missus the other day, and she said, "Who was that horrible thing you went out with before me?" I said, "I thought that was you." It's a fucking wrong thing to say, isn't it? She said, "No." I said, "Oh, wasn't that Genevieve?" She said, "Yeah, she was French." She said, "Yeah, more like a fucking French bulldog." I said, "I quite liked her. She kissed really nicely." She said, "What kind of fucking kiss?" I said, "Well, a French one, she's French." I said, "But don't worry, dear, I'll give you an Australian kiss. That's better, isn't it?" She said, "What's an Australian kiss?" I said, "It's like a French kiss, but it's down under, you know what I mean?" Well, can't help it, It's good shit. Well, if you get the wrong hole. It's Christmas again. Do you know you was going to get socks and fucking deodorant, didn't you? You might as well write in the card, Merry Christmas, you smelly bastard. You know, last year someone got me a sweater. I put it on, 5 minutes later, fucking sweat pouring out the bottom. Why do they call it a sweater? I took it off and I put on a jumper. I was fucking bouncing around the room. Jumper. Yeah, funny names for clothing. Actually, being Welsh, I know the reason why it's called a fucking jumper. Yep. Because it's made out of wool. Wool comes off a sheep. Sheep jump, woolly jumper. There you have it. Fucking learned something today. I don't think there's anybody out there that didn't fucking know that. You'd have to be Welsh, do you? Some people wear a sweater and sit in the fucking cold. Do you know what? We have fun and play games and generally enjoy ourselves at Christmas. My dad will have a rum and a basket of sweets and a few bevies for me mum. She loves her nuts, so she'll have a handful of them. Don't, as me mum, you know, don't. But she'll have a good old laugh, you know. Fucking handful of nuts. Peanuts. Yeah, I remember one year, me and my dad got so drunk, we walked into the same wall 4 times. We went, shit, we're bricked in. Shit, we're bricked in. Well, we fucking were. You have enough sherbets, you can't find the fucking door, let alone the fucking way out. So I come back from the pub the other afternoon, right? The council were only putting our old cooker in the van. I said, oh, give me fucking cooker back. He said, I know there's no need to worry. They've got a new for old policy. We're giving you a brand new one. I said, I don't give a shit. Put it back. And they said, you know what? You're an ungrateful bastard, you are. Why do you want the cooker back? I said, that's got me fucking dinner in it. Late back from the pub, wasn't I? Fucking hell. I got the missus a cookbook once. She ain't a fucking Delia Smith. Do you know what I mean? And she said, what do you want for dinner tonight, love? And I was thinking of, what would I really fancy? Something my mum used to cook me. I said, I'll have toad in the hole. I sat there at the table, knife and fork at the ready, drink. She come out, only had little brown arms and legs sticking out of the fucking thing. You're not supposed to use real fucking toads, in it? Rhubarb, fucking pie and custard. That was a fucking foot long, an inch thick. I tell you, we've got Korean neighbours next door. They've got a cookbook on their fucking windowsill that says how to walk your dog. They fucking hate the things. Every time we kick the ball over the fence, we have to go and get the fucking dog back. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Go and get the dog back. Yeah, that's a hard task. Get whacked on the head with a fucking wok. Yeah, we're all getting a bit older, aren't we? And, you know, we used to love going to bed and have a bit of fun. As you get a bit older, you put a bit of weight on. Things change, don't they? You go to bed, you're getting on as you do, and you accidentally fucking rock yourself to sleep now, don't you? You know what I mean? Well, once you stop whacking you over the fucking head with something. This head. No kinky stuff on this. I'm an adult, but not fucking kinky. Do you know, when I'm writing these fucking jokes, I change topic more times than a fucking politician making up some news site. I don't need a better sense of humour, I need a better sense of fucking direction. So I blame the cheap wine and Aldi. So what do you expect for £3.45p? Chateau Neuf to pap? This stuff is like Chateau Neuf to fucking cack, you know what I mean? My friend, a right cocky bastard, he loves himself. Are you a bad look of mine? Well, you know, considering. He said, I bet you like a cigarette after making love, don't you, Dave? I said, well, yeah. He said, so do I. He said, but I've had to cut down a bit. He said, I'm only smoking 2 fucking packs a day now. I was like, you lying twat. You know what I mean? Getting fucking shagging 40 times a day, aren't we? Or 20 if he had packs of 10. Yeah, you won't believe this, but when I was young, I worked in a circus. Actually, with this mask on, you fucking would believe it. I bumped into a woman who worked with me, years ago. She said, you're looking good, Dave. She said, that was 25 years ago we worked in that fucking circus, do you remember? We had some good acts in that circus, didn't we? I said, yeah, you were the bearded lady. I said, you've had a shave now. You used to have a black and decker hedge trimmer or something, did you? She laughed, she said, yeah. She said, remember you used to bend that iron bar over your cock? I said, well, time's passed now, I couldn't do that anymore, my fucking wrists are knackered. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Fucking wrists are knackered. Well, they would be, not as much as the bloke who's doing the fucking charity wank. you know, but nearly. Yeah. I'm trying to come up with a little song. So, just to make, you know, just have a little bit of fun. So, jingle balls underneath me cock. I know what I'll get for Christmas, some smellies and some socks. Jingle balls, what a messed up time of year. We just want to give the presents out and drink some fucking beer. Dashing through the shops, looking for a dead bird. Eating for 2 days non-stop and have a big old turd. Lazing around the house, watching crap TV, eating too much food. Now I can't move, fuck me. Fucking hell, I make this shit up for nothing, you know. Drinking too much beer. Now I can't even reach my prick. Bit dodgy. Why do we do all this just to please St. Nick? Jingle balls underneath me cock. I know what I'll get for Christmas, some smellies and some socks. Hey, jingle balls, what a messed up time of year. We just want to give the presents out and drink some fucking beer and enjoy. Thanks for watching. It's been a little while, I know. I hope it made you laugh, cry, cringe and swear at fucking me. Please like, subscribe and comment. Have a lovely Christmas and let's hope you all have a better New Year. Take care.